Hi there everyone, I'm Martin Tyler, this is Villa Park. Compliments of the season to you all. The hectic holiday football programme really starts here today, and this is the plum fixture. For the first time under Martin O'Neill's dynamic brand of management, Aston Villa face Manchester United. It's actually the start of a mini-series between the two clubs, who meet again on the first two weekends of 2007 in the FA Cup and then in the return Premiership fixture. United come here smarting from their defeat at West Ham last Sunday. Villa will fear a backlash today, and it is over 11 years now since their last win over Manchester United. Indeed, they have defeated the Old Trafford club just twice in the 28 matches since the start of the Premiership. Leading up to the game, the weather has been a worry. Winter has arrived late in England, but bitter. Freezing fog has made travelling very difficult. There will have been some tricky journeys here for many of the fans. The fog is still an issue, but we are able to start, and let's hope we can finish. For you, two changes in personnel for Aston Villa, which lead to alterations elsewhere. Aaron Hughes is brought in at right back, which means Olaf Melberg is switched to his more accustomed central defensive position, and Liam Ridgewell is left out. And in midfield, there's a first start of the season for 20-year-old Craig Gardner, alongside Gavin McCann, who's only passed fit this morning. Gabriel Agbon-Lahore will begin the match further forward, and Milan Baroš goes back to the Aston Villa bench. The big surprise for Manchester United is the demotion of Wayne Rooney. Though he wasn't at his best at West Ham, Park Ji-sung pressed into service after half a season of injury difficulties. Michael Carrick is out today with an ankle problem, so Darren Fletcher gets a run in midfield, and Patrice Evra edges out Gabiense at left back. A tremendous ovation here for a special guest. Ron Saunders managed Aston Villa to their last league title back in 1981, 25 years ago. Back here today. He's been a football recluse for some 20 years, but has been persuaded to come back to Villa Park. And I must say, the Aston Villa fans giving him a tremendous reception. Alex Ferguson's task is to try and win the league this season.
25 Milan Baroš, 10 Milan Baroš, 16 Wilfried Ruman, and 19 Liam Ridgewell. And your referee this afternoon is Steve Bennett.
The weather much better than anticipated. Steve Bennett is the referee for Manchester United in their white shirts today. Another contest against claret and blue. The winning colours against them, of course, at Upton Park. But Villa Park has been like a second home to United. Gary Neville. Park starting on the right. Davis trying to close in and hustle and bustle, and I'm sure that's very much in the forefront of Martin O'Neill's thinking, Trevor Francis, about how to approach this match today.
Yes, I think he feels that he wants to have a try and have a go at Manchester United. 4-4-2 formation. Late challenge there from Paul Scholes, coming on lively Steve Davis. He's got all the makings of a great afternoon. Obviously here back in October, when there was a full house for the visit of Spurs, 42,000, and as you would expect, same again today for the visit of Manchester United.
Even scoring against Manchester United has been a massive problem for Aston Villa. They haven't beaten them in their last 21 league meetings, and they've only scored in 5 of those 21 games. Only won in the last 7 at Villa Park. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo on the run. Saha was closed down very quickly by Gardner. Davis. McCann, who's got a spot of hamstring trouble, which has kept his place in this match in doubt until the fitness test this morning. Davis. I feel they've been playing pretty well without getting witness to show for that. In goes Gardner. And the whistle has gone against the midfield man who's come through the ranks here, like so many players. They've got a very good academy system, Aston Villa. Fletcher. Saha. And Scholes. He's slightly wrong-footed there, and Gardner got in it, ricocheted though off. Scholes is sorting himself out as Saha is given offside.
Well, you can see Saha there gets in between the two centre-halves. A brilliant delivery from Fletcher. And Saha disappointed with the decision by the assistant referee, and rightly so. He was in line.
Gabor Kirai continuing as the emergency goalkeeper for Villa. Agbon Lahore. As it comes out to McCann, Agbon Lahore was chipping away at Vidic.
Yes, for a moment it looked as if Agbon Lahore was actually going to get in, because Vidic was caught cold. He got wrong side of the young central striker.
Villa went undefeated until late October. They've now gone 6 matches without a victory. Beaten here by Bolton last weekend. Giggs. Now Evra. Fletcher, not challenged and able to pick a pass to Park. He was trying to head it across towards Saha. Right by Evra. Tom by McCann, a little touch by Gardner. Sutton. It's quite a narrow formation, Trevor, in midfield for Aston Villa.
Yes, Davis and Petrov, it's fair to say, both prefer to play central. But they're going to have to hold a little bit of width this afternoon. But what is very noticeable, Martin, is that Villa have tried to start very quickly, and they've gone for pace. And Agbon Lahore has been playing often this season on the wide right position, but up front today alongside the very experienced Chris Sutton. So it's a real challenge this afternoon for Vidic and Rio Ferdinand.
Melberg. As a central defender today, I'm sure he will appreciate that. But it's Gary Cahill who stayed in the side, and the defender who's more experienced, Liam Ridgewell, is the one who's been left out. And here's Petrov. Comes Ferdinand. Agbon Lahore is on him in a flash, and again, well, maybe at some cost, is still wincing there. He's off the pitch, so the game can go on. Ronaldo. Agbon Lahore has limped back into action. Park. Plays safe.
I don't suppose for one moment that Martin O'Neill knew that Rooney wasn't going to start, but I think it's worked in his favour having Cahill there, because what Cahill does offer is that extra bit of pace against Ryan Giggs.
Header by Ferdinand, then McCann. Ferdinand again, to thread it down the outside of Gareth Barry. He wants to see it out here, couldn't let the pace on the ball do that. And gave Ryan Giggs a bit of a taste of his own medicine.
Martin, just a little mention of the starting position at the moment of Chris Sutton. I don't know if it's intentional, but at the moment Aston Villa are just playing with the one up front, Agbon Lahore, obviously looking to try and get him in behind with his pace, and Chris Sutton is just playing in the hole between midfield and Agbon Lahore.
That deflected to Park. It was a bit lucky for Manchester United. Needed some blocking from the South Korean by Cahill.
And what an important block that was, because the shot from Park was going across Kirai. Whether it would have actually beaten him, only the goalkeeper would know, but I think it possibly may have caused him a little problem. Definitely going to go past him. It was a great block, sliding challenge from Cahill.
Ryan Giggs to take the corner, back on the ground where he probably scored the greatest goal of his career in that FA Cup semi-final replay against Arsenal. Neville had stayed back. Here is Sutton. Gardner had a few games last season, but has not been given much opportunity to impress Martin O'Neill in the senior side so far. It's a big day for him. Neville. Just sold a bit short. Here's Petrov. Wanting the movement outside him. And the pass was a somewhat laboured one towards Sutton. Evra.
Just a word on Gardner, Martin. He's one of a nice little group of youngsters at Aston Villa. I saw him when he was much younger, as we just leave it here as Ronaldo's in possession.
And Ronaldo's looking dangerous. And Kirai was concerned again. There was another block to help him, and another corner for Manchester United.
Well, it's a typical run of Ronaldo in a central position, attacking the heart of the Villa defence. Once again, your guess is as good as mine whether this would have beaten Kirai, but it's another very, very good block, once again from Gary Cahill.
That's another Giggs corner. For Fletcher, it's smashed away to safety by Cahill. Started the game very stoutly in Aston Villa's defending.
No, I was just mentioning Gardner. I watched him often when he was 14, 15 years of age, when he was playing with my son at Birmingham City's academy, but he wasn't considered good enough, released, and now he finds himself in Aston Villa's first team.
Reject is another man's favourite. Mike Ferguson has done so much for Manchester United. He's probably unaware that United need one goal to reach 2,000 under his management. I expected to get that at West Ham. Looking for it here with Ronaldo and Scholes and Giggs. Gardner gets in the way. Certainly a player who covers the ground in midfield. Snapped it away from Giggs. Fletcher. Get a few games over the Christmas period with Carrick injured. Davis was trying to keep that in. And you could understand why, because Gary Neville was caught forward. It is Villa's throw.
Well, Gary Neville was caught forward in Park, believed the ball was actually going to go out of play, and he was quite relieved when the linesman put his flag up, because otherwise he was straight in front of Alex Ferguson. I think he may have had a little volley there from the boss.
Ferdinand's header, met by McCann. was delightfully done. And, rather overshadowed Ronaldo, which takes a bit of doing. And a turn today for Aaron Hughes at right back. Goals.
It's quite clever play that from Petrov. He drew the foul from Scholes, put himself between ball and the player, really forced the challenge from Scholes. I think it's Paul Scholes' second rash challenge of the game. You've just got to keep an eye on that. He is prone to that, isn't he?
Yes, and he's one yellow card away from the suspension. Even more so, he's got to keep an eye on that today. Steve Bennett making sure Gareth Barry eventually takes the free kick from the correct spot. Plenty in there for Villa. Against the post and not over the line. Van der Sar hangs on very gratefully indeed.
Well, United don't deal well with this Barry free kick. The initial header comes in from Sutton, and then Van der Sar believes the ball, for me, is going wide. It strikes his post, and then he dives on the rebound just as it's about to go over the line. It wasn't over the line. There were shouts from the Villa fans, one or two from the Villa players, but quite clearly that ball did not cross the line. And what a scare that was for Manchester United.
Scholes. Giggs trying to slide it through for Saha, who's been in such good form, 4 goals in his last 5 appearances.
Well, how often do we talk about the first touch? And there you saw the first touch of Saha letting him down at the vital moment. It's a brilliant pass from Ryan Giggs. And if Saha had got it right, then he would have been in for a goal-scoring opportunity.
Edwin van der Sar committed his future to Manchester United. It's a capable recovery after his left-hand post had initially come to his rescue.
Well, I think it was Gardner who got the final touch. The initial header came in from Chris Sutton. Manchester United dropped in a little bit too deep from the free kick, and Sutton, so good in the air, got the initial flick, and then there was a posse of players who went for the second ball, and I think it was young Gardner who got the touch, and it did appear that Van der Sar thought that he was going to go wide, but it definitely struck his post. He was a little bit fortunate then to be able to dive on the ball and grasp it at the vital moment.
Ronaldo, Fletcher. Interception by Gardner. Got himself involved promisingly, and Akbon Lahore is taken out cynically by Vidic.
Well, it's the easiest decision of the afternoon for Steve Bennett. A cynical foul from Vidic. It's not going to be an easy afternoon for Vidic against the pace of Akbon Lahore. He'd much prefer to be up there facing Chris Sutton in a battle. He's not going to get that against Akbon Lahore because he's got searing pace.
And Vidic will miss the home game against Reading. That's his 5th yellow card of the season. Petrov with the free kick. Again, Aston Villa's presence and the quality of the ball making it difficult for Manchester United to defend. It's a corner. Cahill going towards the near post. Elbow behind him. Sutton trying to make a move. Van der Sar does well to get there and to hold it. And to use it to Giggs. Doesn't get away like he did famously back in 1999 from that part of the pitch. Martin O'Neill has beaten Manchester United before in his time as the boss of Leicester City. Here's Evra linking with Ronaldo. They're asking for handballs. The ball bounced up. Evra had a good view of it. Maybe better than Steve Bennett.
He had a good view of it, Evra, but what he didn't have, Martin, was too many options in the penalty box. As he looked up, you can only see Saha there. Ball comes up off McCann, strikes his left hand. Can't possibly be intentional. And Steve Bennett, not interested, rightly so.
Atmosphere here at Villa Park. The home supporters delighted to see Ron Saunders presented to the crowd before the game. And, there's plenty of seasonal spirit, marching aside with plenty of football spirit. Well, to use his pace again. Petrov tried to thread it in behind.
Well, notoriously, the Saturday before Christmas there's always low crowds, Martin, but that doesn't apply, does it, when Manchester United's in town? Wherever they go, you're almost guaranteed a full house.
Yeah, whatever the time of year. Gardner stayed on his case. He was asking for a free kick. Evra not sure, but it is just a throw. It's Melberg. All good work by Craig Gardner. It's a massive vote of faith in him by Martin O'Neill. Shuffle the team around a little bit today.
I think Martin will be more than pleased with the start that Aston Villa have made, because what they've done is they've got right in the face of Manchester United. They pressed them early, they've not allowed them to settle on the ball. Of course they've got that extra little bit of quality that's always going to come through, but they've certainly matched them. They've been very aggressive. It's a good opening from Aston Villa.
Manchester United knowing that after last weekend it is possible that they would end this weekend no longer top of the Premiership. Chelsea away at Wigan. Saha away from Melberg. Park. First time cross from Neville. Defended by Hughes. Comes out to Evra. It's first goal for United. Great ball to Scholes from Ronaldo.
It wasn't a great ball, Martin, but you see who intercepted that ball. It was Chris Sutton, playing in that much deeper line role. I think his job is to just play in and around Paul Scholes, who's so important for Manchester United. He's the one who likes to get on the ball, Paul Scholes, and make United tick. And they've withdrawn Chris Sutton, especially to try and stop the supply of balls into Paul Scholes.
He's further forward here, and he likes to get the ball into feet. He's tracked by Ferdinand, runs Villa's way. Gardner, Evra's though. He's a very strong character. Ronaldo off the pitch at the moment, just adjusting his footwork. Aston Villa were looking high and low for a goalkeeper when Stuart Taylor followed Thomas Sorensen to the hospital and the surgeon's knife, both with knee problems. Scholes. made the forward run this time from midfield. And Saha spreads it to Gary Neville. Ronaldo still waiting for the nod to come back on. Fletcher. Neville playing as the winger. And it's Park. It's just in the end bobbled wide when Aston Villa were looking as though they were being opened up here.
Well, Gary Neville stayed in an advanced position and he won the possession of the ball from Fletcher. I think he wanted to play an early ball in, but there was no white shirt there, so he just delayed it into the path of Park. He really snatched at the effort. And there's the scare for United. Van der Sar, I think he feels it's going past the post, you know.
Gardner was celebrating, wasn't he? He thought it was going inside the post, or hoping so.
Without looking at the records, I think that would have been Gardner's first goal for Aston Villa.
Well, it's typical of the way he's begun this game, very confidently indeed. Martin O'Neill, notoriously a manager who has all sorts of different thoughts in leading up to games before he finally announces the team. And he usually gets it right, certainly more often right than wrong. By Hughes. Scholes. And allowed to come forward. Fletcher. Measuring it for Neville. Davis to contend with. Fletcher and Park. Oh, the assistant has a flag for a free kick for a foul on Park Ji-sung.
I can only assume you saw a little bit of shirt pulling from Gareth Barry, who was the nearest player to him.
Just past the halfway mark in the first half. Giggs takes the free kick. Might be required to take the corner.
It's Gavin McCann who got the touch. Nicely shaped in swinging ball with his left foot from Ryan Giggs. Important touch from Gavin McCann.
Ronaldo takes it. Giggs, who was making his way across, receives the short one. It is Giggs. It all dropped back. And half on his way back, but deciding he could still join in the attack. That might be now caught too far forward, but it was a great reach by Scholes. The ball tailored or designed for Agbon Lahore to chase, and he can chase.
Well, the last man for Manchester United was Evra. I think he was pretty relieved when he saw Scholes make that interception, because I don't think he would have fancied a one-on-one race against Agbon Lahore.
Ronaldo. Hasn't all been in perfect harmony so far for Manchester United.
It's not been a great start for Cristiano Ronaldo, who's having a very, very good season. I'm a little surprised that he's actually on the left-hand side. He's played most of his best football this season on the right.
Scholes again, mistiming a tackle. Remember, this is also a ground where Manchester United have played as a neutral territory, FA Cup semi-finals. They've never lost one here. They've got this fantastic Premiership record at Villa Park. They haven't been beaten for over 11 years now. But it hasn't been the home from home so far. It's the pumped up, pepped up Aston Villa. The sort of aggression and attitude that Martin O'Neill demands. penalty as well. Time going, Chris Sutton got the free kick, took the free kick. Here's Petrov. They're working very hard to try and get there.
Well, Chris Sutton won the free kick and he took a quick one. I'm not sure that that was the right decision, because on previous free kicks it caused Manchester United all sorts of problems.
Hughes did well. It's all sorts of a tangle there involving Evra, called equal by the officials. Agbon Lahore to drive it across. Calmly played by Scholes. McCann. He seemed to win the ball clearly, but Steve Bennett didn't like the type of challenge. McCann is mystified.
Well, let's see who's right. I agree with the referee. McCann trying to win possession from Park, snapped at his ankles, and Steve Bennett is positioned no more than 5 yards away from the action.
Forward by Ferdinand. Cahill backed up for Manchester United by Giggs, making his own luck then. There's 3 in the middle. Fletcher making it 4. Heading out by Barry. Down by Scholes. Ronaldo for Evra, and Kirai, some textbook goalkeeping, got down well, got plenty behind it, and made sure it didn't bounce off him.
Great play from Ronaldo, draws 2 players to him, knows that Evra's making the overlap, little back heel, and that bounces just in front of Kirai, but he kept his eye on it and held it safely.
Forward by Melberg. Asked to the referee by Sutton and a few thousand Villa supporters as well, but nothing doing again from Steve Bennett. Sounds rather got underneath that clearance. And Fletcher muddling into McCann. Will be under special scrutiny from the Villa medical team.
Unintentionally, the left elbow of Fletcher caught McCann in the face. It's pleasing to see that Gavin McCann doesn't make nothing of it, gets up, dusts himself down.
Vidic not really dealing with it. Gardner's in there again, and that will be a corner.
Well, there's total confusion in the Manchester United ranks every time a deep free kick comes in. They're not happy with the aerial presence of Sutton. Somebody's got to start bossing that situation, otherwise they're going to come unstuck.
Wanted a short one, or offered himself for it. It's still 2 against 1 if they choose. And the Saha, the Son challenge. The referee had a good look at it, but decided not to blow. Claiming Manchester United that flicked off Agbon Lahore on the way out. In by Hughes. Cahill got a piece of it, but in the end to no real purpose. It's a good contest. And it's Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 0. Evra. Petrov trying to stay with him. Saha, good vision. Scholes. Goes for the pass, and next header loops comfortably to Kirai. Davis. Edwin needing the fleetness of foot, which one of his major qualities to get across. He's taken the defeat up to Park on the chin, Alec Ferguson. Pretty bullish in the build-up to this game about Manchester United's traditional strength over the second half of a season. But, losing 2 in a row. Doesn't happen very often under his management. Ferdinand. Ronaldo. For Park. For Saha. It's all a bit tight and close. And Aston Villa was strong in their central defending. That's gone out of Gareth Barry. Somewhat chancelly for Manchester United, but in such little breaks, games can be won and lost. Halfway up the pitch, Giggs takes the corner, and Cristiano Ronaldo was up well. It went straight to Kirai, who's made a hash of his clearance. It's good work by Davis. He said earlier, Trevor, quite right, that he doesn't like to play in the wide position. He'd like to be bossing it in the middle of midfield, but Martin O'Neill was having a word here with Steve Bennett. He needs someone to play on that left-hand side. He's got to change his system after a couple of months this season when Luke Moore, who began the campaign well, was injured and hasn't been seen since. Miscue by Petrov. And Hughes doubling up on him. Ronaldo does deliver. Fletcher! Well, he'd made a great run in towards the near post area. Was just trying to open it up to use the right foot, but didn't get enough on it.
Well, it's the first time that Fletcher's got forward. Great work from Ronaldo, despite the attention of 2 players. Goes past Hughes, delivers it early. Fletcher tries to just side foot it into the far corner of Kirai's goal. Doesn't make a good enough connection. But that's what Manchester United have got to get more of now. Looking to try and get the midfield players into more advanced positions.
It was a move, Trevor, put together by Ronaldo and Fletcher. But there's been some chatting away by Chris Sutton, I think, referee Bennett, that he wants to deal with.
I mentioned the 2 players who were doubling up on Ronaldo, one of them being Petrov. He's had to curb his natural instincts of going forward, Martin, simply because he's got a job to do. He's there to try and protect Hughes against the real threat of Cristiano Ronaldo.
McCann just dropping in front of Saha to make sure the ball couldn't be dropped into the Manchester United front man. United look to build from the back with Vidic. Just over 10 minutes left in the first half. It's been an engrossing watch to this point. On the hawk, trying to deal with the 2 central defenders. They're playing a bit of keep ball. Flat, Saha kept it in. Evra, Giggs, Melberg stretched to clear. It's Gardner closing down again. Just wonder whether Aston Villa will be able to keep up this pace. They're operating at full throttle. And Gardner typifying that drive and determination.
What we should remember, Martin, that when you look at the 10 outfield players, it's quite a young Aston Villa side, this. With the greatest respect to Chris Sutton. It's a very young side, so there's no reason why they can't continue this in the second half. I think it's a case of having to, isn't it?
I'm sure it is. As Giggs heads up. Manchester United do not lack motivation today. Last weekend was a bad weekend. They thought they might be 8 points clear. They ended up only 2. Chelsea were twice behind at Goodison, you'll recall. Prior to Manchester United taking the field at Upton Park.
Well, certainly Steve Bennett didn't see that handball. I can understand that because he was directly behind Paul Scholes, but the assistant referee brought it to the attention of Steve Bennett.
He's given a better angle for the ball in, but he doesn't get the depth. And it's Giggs. Barry. Davis having another go at it. And there's 4 out here for Manchester United to use in the counter-attack. Giggs. Past McCann. Ronaldo to the left. Still Cristiano Ronaldo, and Manchester United are still waiting for the lead.
Well, that's the first real chance of Manchester United. Villa were a little bit bare at the back. United left 3 up. Giggs breaks. Running at Aston Villa. Plays the ball to Ronaldo. He could have hit it with his left foot. He checks. Gets it back onto his left. And then slides it past the far post. Missing that far post by a good couple of feet. But certainly that was a warning to Aston Villa. But against Manchester United, when you're on the attack, you've got to be aware of them counter-attacking you. That's exactly what they did then with pace.
Evra. Picked off by Hughes. Once it rolled through, the danger it would have gone offside. Hughes gets another chance. Ferdinand thinks the flag should have gone up. Petrov has the shot. Recently the score of his first Villa goal at Bramall Lane.
Well, too often in this first half, Manchester United have given the ball away in bad situations. That was an example there of Evra giving it away. He was never going to reach the wide player.
And there is Ron Saunders, who managed Aston Villa so triumphantly in the late 1970s and to the league title in 1981.
Could I say, Martin, I think Ron Saunders would have enjoyed this first half because this is how he'd want his players to be playing. As most managers would, with great desire and determination. They play with great skill, and I think most managers in the Premiership would be delighted with this first half showing of Aston Villa.
Yeah, the tempo has been just what's required. Just had the, if you like, the claret and blueprint from West Ham last weekend. Saha could have gone right. Neville is still waiting.
Well, I wondered that when Saha was about to receive it, well, if he actually realised that Neville was behind him, because he could have just stepped over the ball and dummied it. He actually took control of it, and then he was crowded out by, you can see there, 4 claret and blue shirts. That's what Aston Villa have done well. There's never been one-on-one this afternoon. There's always been a player ready to support a colleague. It's been a real team effort.
Fletcher gets the better of Sutton, which is something Ferdinand was struggling to do a few seconds earlier. Do try and push Chris Sutton on when they have the ball to give Aston Villa a second target from the back. And he's a very intelligent footballer, is Sutton. He's not just a striker. Good work by Park. Here's Ronaldo. Petrov trying to get back to help Hughes. It's Darren Fletcher. Stopped by Davis. Vidic early to Ronaldo, and that's a little bit too flash, really. Remember, Wayne Rooney waiting on the bench for Manchester United. Neville. Giggs. Cahill. Nearly caught in possession, having got it well. Pulled up here.
It's good play again from Gavin McCann, drawing the free kick from Fletcher. Gavin McCann just looking to slide a ball down the channel area, but he had to wait for the run of Agbon Lahore and decided to just put it through the legs of Fletcher, winning a free kick.
Too often in Premiership seasons, Aston Villa just haven't been able to match Manchester United. They've only beaten them twice in 1992, first Premiership season, and here in that opening game of the 95-96 campaign. Agbon Lahore, and it's Gardner who took the shot on.
Well, that's excellent football from Aston Villa. Pity about the finish from Gardner. Chris Sutton gets a hold of it, rows it to Agbon Lahore, waits for support, rows it to Gardner. Vidic comes late, slides in. I just think he did enough just to put off Gardner, who lifted his head, and the ball sailed over the crossbar into the crowd of Manchester United supporters behind the goal. But that was a good opportunity for the youngster.
Touch on from Saha, an intervention by Barry. It's good football from Villa again, a little bit of luck in it as well off Agbon Lahore, and it spins away here to Petrov. Sutton had covered a lot of ground to get into that little bit of space. Hughes with the cross. The sort of movement that Teddy Sheringham made to unhinge Manchester United last weekend. After which Ferdinand was outfoxed by Harewood and Rio Coker did the rest. Sutton. Vidic stepping in. A couple of minutes plus added time to half-time at Villa Park.
What we don't know, Martin, is the reason why Wayne Rooney is on the bench. Does he have a little bit of a knock, or possibly a little bit of flu or something? But certainly a consideration for Sir Alex Ferguson, because he can't be happy with this first half showing. For me, Aston Villa have been slightly the better side. Does he do something about it half-time and introduce him into the game for the start of the second half? We shall see.
You made the observation about Manchester United struggling aerially. Gardner's headed against the post. And here's a corner. Closing stages of this first half. Barry played the corner short, but Steve Bennett's eye had been caught by Vidic and Sutton. A bit of push and shove. They've had a handshake now.
Well, this 2-on-1 situation from the corner has been on all afternoon, and if they want it, they can go again.
And Ronaldo's actually now come out to try and stop the supply, but he hasn't done much. It's Agbon Lahore has worked for that.
I think Agbon Lahore was in two minds whether to actually control this ball, set himself up, but he takes it on first time, and the finish, well, not one of his best. Certainly nicely worked, wasn't it, the corner from Gareth Barry?
Evra.
There'll be a minimum 1 minute added time. Minimum 1
Ball
minute.
is up for the 1 extra minute. Davis, there was a bit of an area to try and hit there where Petrov might have made a run inside right position. Cahill. Sutton. Vidic is connected. One last run in this first half from Ronaldo. Cross in, but Villa are lining up to get it away. And a foul to Mellberg in the end. been a very good first half, with plenty of promise from Aston Villa, plenty of thinking for Sir Alex Ferguson. He nearly saw his side go down when Craig Gardner, in the crowd, won a header and hit the left-hand post of Edwin van der Sar, with the goalkeeper a little concerned as to his bearings, but he grasped the ball as it dropped and kept Aston Villa at bay. Hasn't been easy for Manchester United, and the Aston Villa motivation from Martin O'Neill very apparent in the opening 45 minutes here. It's Villa 0, United 0 at the break. Aston Villa and Manchester United will see plenty of each other over the next 3 weeks. Visibility for seeing them here is very good, I'm pleased to say, at the start of the second half. The temperature's dropping and nightfall. No sign of the dreaded fog. Here's Giggs. There's plenty of signs of Cristiano Ronaldo. Melberg given the chance to intercept. Ronaldo annoyed with himself that he didn't really cut the ball back to any purpose.
Yeah, it was good covering though from Melberg. He's used to playing in that right back position. That's where he's been performing of late. Hughes caught out of position. Melberg came over with a timely interception.
Sutton moving out to be the first man to head it away and then gallantly chasing his own clearance. Neville. Taken from him by Davis. And on the horn. Well, there was concern for Fletcher and particularly for Vidic. Vidic, who was yellow carded in the first half. Corner. Another chance for Davis. He hasn't given it up, but Park has plenty of strength. Barry takes it from him. Barry again. Gardner in the face of Manchester United, as he was for much of the first 45 minutes. Gardner. Nicely done to the feet of Sutton. Corner.
Certainly Chris Sutton was looking for the corner. I don't think Rio Ferdinand and Gary Neville were too pleased with that decision. But it's another opportunity to put Manchester United under pressure.
Towards Sutton to try and flick it on. Now Barry. Where he linked up well with Ever in the first half down the United left, but there were a few occasions when it went wrong as well. I think the feeling in that Manchester United dressing room at half-time was that we can do better. Ferdinand. He wasn't sure. The assistant was a bit further away, in fact. But, it's a throw to Villa. Cabra. Park coming in from the right and finding some space. Oh, and Saha thought maybe for a fraction of a second that he was away from Barry, who had other ideas. Barry again. On the haul. If there's anything for him to chase, you can sense the anticipation from the home support. McCann. Saha has stayed down and the referee's stopped it. Louis Saha not getting much seasonal sympathy. Recovery. Checking the dental work. You have to watch what you eat over Christmas as a footballer anyway. You wouldn't want any other handicaps. Gareth Barry, the Villa player involved. He was aware that there'd be an opponent coming in from behind, closing him down. Nicely done by Ronaldo. More facing the play this time. Scholes. Ronaldo, shots on. Struck Cahill. Started the first half getting in the way of a couple of Manchester United drives.
Ronaldo took the shot on, but the better option was Gary Neville. He hasn't got forward that often in this game, but he was in plenty of space on the right-hand side. Ronaldo tried the shot, but as you mentioned, Martin, the ball has been like a bit of a magnet, hasn't it, to Cahill in this game? That's what you want from your defenders.
Barry got a bit of the ball. Manchester United fans also thought that he got a bit of park as well. But it wasn't sure and let play go on. Sutton giving it to Evra. Scholes. Now Giggs. For Saha. Lost just a little bit of impetus after Giggs didn't release the pass as quickly as he might have wanted to in the first place. Evra. 0-0. But plenty of ambition from both sides to change that. Fletcher. Neville forward again. Sideways to Giggs. He in turn to Evra. Ronaldo. Trying to drop it for Neville. His header only falls for Fletcher, and there was a pass on for Gary Neville with Barry down on the ground, trying to recover his balance. Sutton. Gardner to Petrov, who goes for goal, but isn't too close to finding it.
Well, I don't think Evra got as tight as that he would have liked here, and that's the reason why Petrov took the shot on. Not the easiest of angles, but Petrov's got a great shot on that right foot. Evra's got a little bit closer to him to deny him that shooting opportunity.
Saha. Maybe wondering if and when he's going to be joined by Wayne Rooney. Manchester United fans are calling for a star substitute today. McCann. Typical of the sterling work that Aston Villa are putting in. Work that they have to maintain. Park. That's a super turn. Lost McCann and Barry in making it. Still Park Ji-sung, Cristiano Ronaldo. Park's there again. Carver's got to be careful with his challenges. Aston Villa had, what, 6 players around the point of danger, and in the end snuffed it out. It wasn't easy though, even with those numbers. And here's Fletcher, not marked. Agbon Lahore, it's Villa's turn, with a busy Gardner. It's a good idea, and in fact it certainly stretched Edwin van der Sar. Thought he was coming out maybe just to pick that up inside the area, but the angle of the ball was clever enough to stop that happening.
I think also, Martin, he was very concerned about diving at the feet of Agbon Lahore. We've seen those on many occasions result in a penalty.
Well, it's frowns for Manchester United at the moment. Their attacking instinct so successful for much of this season in the Premiership. No goals at Upton Park, no goals yet at Villa Park. Gardner worrying away at Scholes. Now Giggs. Ronaldo. An easy cross, but for Melberg to deal with, but deal with it he did. Evra. Scholes. Giggs. The ball around the penalty area that Manchester United are lacking from time to time. Fuller's best ball still seems to be the one for Agbon Lahore to hair after. Sutton gets it down. One or two United players asking for handball. McCann with a play with Petrov, marking to the left, far forward for Villa, although Barry trying to supply it now. It's a good cross too. And it was one that Agbon Lahore was trying to fling himself at.
It's a good ball in from Gareth Barry. Agbon Lahore inches away from getting a touch to it, but Van der Sar kept his eye on it. Could so easily have crept in his far post, inside his far post, but he got his hands to it and saved quite comfortably.
Fletcher. Neville taking over. Fletcher again, but he needed quick feet there, and there wasn't room for it really against Davis. Now Sutton. This marauding role has been asked to take on by Martin O'Neill today. Hughes. Ronaldo and Giggs on that side. That might be an expensive mistake by the Villa right back. And Ronaldo really going for the heart of Aston Villa here. It's a brilliant run. And it's Cristiano Ronaldo again. And that is Manchester United's 2000th goal under Alex Ferguson's management. And a goal of real beauty and power from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, Hughes loses possession, they quickly hit Villa on the counter-attack. Ronaldo sets himself up for the shot once again. A great block from Cahill, but on this occasion it rebounds into the path of Ronaldo, who on this occasion drills the ball with his right foot past Kirai. It's a great shot from Ronaldo. The pace is there, the power. Kirai, before he can move, the ball is flashed past him into the back of the net. And Cristiano Ronaldo, as he's done on so many occasions this season, has put Manchester United into a winning position.
Well, the goal coming inside the opening 15 minutes of the second half. And Alex Ferguson and Carlos Queiroz, Michael Phelan, not betraying their feelings, but will be feeling a little happier about life, and the Villa fans will be going, we've seen this before. Manchester United with such a magnificent record on this ground. only scored once in the last 7 matches, home and away in the Premiership. Gareth Barry got that in the game at Old Trafford a couple of years back. Someone's got to find the net if Villa are going to fight back here. Fletcher. Neville. Park in pursuit. That's not bad, Trevor, in just over 20 years as manager. 2,000 goals. Not far short of 100 goals a season. And this is the landmark goal for Alex Ferguson for Manchester United. Most importantly, it's the goal that gives them the lead here.
The final shot is a brilliant one from Ronaldo, but the run's equally as good. He runs so quickly with the ball at his feet, and he goes at the heart of the defence.
Here's Giggs. Maybe he'll go at the heart of the defence as well. He's got Saha to work with, he's got Ronaldo to work with, but he doesn't find the Prince from Portugal. Davis. Melberg. Sutton. Bon Lahore, McCann, plenty of Villa players forward here. Davis, McCann, had to deal with the referee as much as the opposing player then.
I'm disappointed they'll gather McCann, because there's not too often you get an opportunity to get a free shot. Just like Petrov, he can hit them from distance. He wasn't under too much pressure, although Fletcher arrived late, but he dragged his shot well wide of Van der Sar's goal.
And Pablo Akel could be an option. Milan Baroš also on the Villa bench. Attackers required. Festive cheer from those who follow the team from Old Trafford. It's a win for Manchester United here, makes absolutely sure that they will be top of the table on Christmas Day. Away by Ferdinand. McCann, Saha defending well from the front. Ronaldo's on the run again. And Ronaldo still going against Hughes. And still, it's Giggs.
Yet again, Cahill gets in a block. That's the 4th occasion I've said this afternoon, but what about the pace of Ronaldo here? Fantastic run, stands on his feet, he picks out Giggs, who thinks he's scored with his right foot. And once again the block comes in. Was it Cahill or was it Gareth Barry? Whoever it was, they've done a great job, because I think that ball probably would have found itself in the back of the net.
It's a Manchester United corner. We've seen some stunners over the last couple of weeks in the Premiership, but this tops the lot.
Well, the discussion this season has been, was Drogba's the goal of the season? Was it Essien? For me, this is the goal of the season. It's absolutely unbelievable. He's got to be all of 25 yards out. He hits it, Kirai dives, hits the underside of the crossbar and goes in. What a fantastic goal. And what a fantastic player he's been for Manchester United over the years, Paul Scholes.
Well, he doesn't get forward quite so often the way Manchester United use him these days, but when you've got that sort of ability from that sort of range, it's an absolute scorcher. He might have to do an interview or two afterwards. That'll be the downside for Paul. And it really has put Manchester United in the box seat here at Villa Park. The ground is being good to them again. But what about the calibre of the goals and indeed the way they've improved their output in the second half? 2-0 up, and you can think about bringing on Wayne Rooney. Life can't be too bad. Petrov. The crowd were calling for Vidic to be penalised in the first place. But it might be Villa who are going to be hurt again here. Here's Park. Giggs. Cracked away by Cahill.
Well, I do feel, Martin, that Petrov made Steve Bennett's job quite easy there when he could so easily have gone to ground. Vidic got himself in all sorts of trouble, and I think if Petrov had gone over, then Bennett would have had a very, very difficult decision to make. Was it or wasn't it a penalty? As it was, Petrov stayed on his feet and there was no decision to make.
Well, Alex Ferguson is going to hammer home his point now. His team have hammered in 2 goals, and here comes Wayne Rooney. Every sign since the restart is that Manchester United are back in business. Well, you mentioned Drogba's goal, Matthew Taylor's phenomenal effort from 45 yards against Everton. But the dropping ball there is so difficult to take. The technique has to be absolutely perfect. And perfection is the description of the Scholes stunner. Scholes trying to pick out a pass from pretty much the same part of the pitch where he hit the ball from, past Gabor Kirai.
And all these goals we've talked about, Martin, have come in the last 2 weeks. They've been quite phenomenal. Every one just seems to be better than the next.
Well, it's strange, isn't it? It's not that long ago I was rather reluctantly reporting a downturn in goal getting in the Premiership. Others looked up the fact that other leagues around Europe were producing at a better rate. It's almost as if the Premiership players have taken up the cudgels on their own behalf. They've certainly put on their shooting boots, and it's a delight to behold whichever team you support.
The ones we mentioned, Martin, the Aston goal, the Drogba goal, the Taylor goal, what's been the common denominator? That the goalkeeper has had absolutely no chance with any of them.
And what's added to the spectacular nature of the one we've just seen here, always that much more dramatic when it hits the underside of the bar and flies on into the net, as all Scholes provided. Here's Davis, maybe could have taken the shot on first time, not so comfortable on his left side, and needed instant sizing up of the situation, which sometimes is easier from where we're sitting than where the players are actually operating. Here's McCann on a weaving run. Saha never had to be quick, and he was. Steered off by Giggs. It's Ronaldo again. Manchester United at the gallop. With Rooney.
You've got to be careful now, Aston Villa. You saw there that Aaron Hughes got caught in an advanced position. And against the pace of players like Ronaldo, Saha, Giggs, and now Rooney, they're going to get caught if they're not careful.
Back on the Hall. Comes a corner for Villa. Got to keep their heads up. Interesting if Villa can nick one back. It's Petrov. He's a candidate to do just that. Petrov, Sutton, quickly to Chris Sutton again. It was scraped away by Fletcher. Saha, with a poor touch, actually made up his own mind, and he had to just play it into space and chase after it. He's been brought down by McCann, who's booked for the foul.
Well, if McCann had not brought Saha to the ground, he was absolutely clear. He had pushed that ball into grass behind him, and there was plenty of space for him to run into with his pace. He would have been onto it. He had another, 50 yards to go. But you never know what could have happened from that situation. Because at the moment, Villa throwing one or two players forward, trying to get back in this game, and just leaving themselves a little bit bare at times.
I mentioned earlier, Trevor, it's part of the managerial mantra of Alec Ferguson that if you've lost one game, you do everything possible to make sure you don't lose two in a row. And of course it doesn't always work out that way, but back-to-back defeats for Manchester United under Fergie have been seldom. Here's Davis. Ball by Scholes. Two pretty special goals from Manchester United. Can Aston Villa etch something of their own into today's picture? Petrov still having a good look at it, as is Barry. McCann's been making the motions. And it's left for Petrov. Went not according to plan. Ronaldo stood and bemoaned his fate, Stiliyan Petrov. Barry. It's come for Petrov, but only via a push on Ronaldo. Persistent infringement by Chris Sutton, who was spoken to in the first half. He's been booked. This is footballing perfection. He got half a touch, didn't he?
He
Kirai
did
as well.
I didn't realise it first, but Kirai did get a touch to it, but still the goal of the season. Manchester United, sorry, I was going to say Aston Villa can feel a little bit hard done by, because they haven't done badly on the corner. They've got reasonable distance on the header. I did say that Scholes has hit it from 25 yards, and if you can head a ball clear from a corner to 25 yards, you don't expect to see it come back and flash into the back of your net.
You feel pretty safe, except when it drops towards the ginger demon who can volley. Rooney's been parked in place of Park on the right-hand side. Once done by Sutton, on the haul. Again, quick enough to make it awkward for Vidic. I must say he solved his difficulties very well, the Serbian centre-back. Giggs. Oh, Barry's header drops short. Wayne Rooney lines it up and then tees it up for Ronaldo. And Kirai saw it skimming his way and kept it at 2.
Well, the header from Gareth Barry was never going to reach, was it? Wayne Rooney could have hit it first time, unselfishly played it into the path of Ronaldo.
The more Villa chase, the more Manchester United look menacing.
This is where he could have hit it, but he looks up, plays it into the space for Ronaldo, who thinks if he side foots it, keeps it down, then he can score. But on this occasion, Kirai was in the right position and he smothered the shot.
Fletcher. There are plenty of shots at Kirai's goal. Goalkeeper on emergency loan.
Today's attendance over 42,551, 42,551. All goes to the party. We thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you.
Alongside Alec Ferguson, Aston Villa preparing a substitute, Juan Pablo Angel. It's McCann coming off. Angel getting some instructions from Steve Walford. McCann still troubled, I'm sure, by that damaged hamstring. Angel on for his 200th game for Aston Villa against the same opposition he first faced, getting on for 6 years ago now. This is Davis. Gardner. It's the Petrov, his sort of range. He plays it wide to Agbon Lahore. Can't feed it across into a really dangerous area.
I'm sure Petrov wishes he would have shot now. It wasn't wrong to play it wide to Agbon Lahore, but he had the option of shooting.
Rooney. He saw it coming. And from behind by Scholes, who must be so close to getting this yellow card that's going to mean a suspension, and he does get it now.
Well, it's accumulation of fouls, isn't it? Steve Bennett just pointing out at least 3 free kicks given away for fouls, 2 more for handball. You can't really complain.
Of a rotation being forced on Alec Ferguson in a week's time. Barry takes. It's a better work aerially than Manchester United were coming up with in the first half. And they were defending some set plays.
Just a word about the change that Manchester United have made, Martin. As you'd expect, Petrov has gone in the centre with Gardner, and Agbon Lahore now withdrawn to his right-sided position. So it's Angel and Chris Sutton as the 2 central strikers for Villa.
Neville. Rooney still on the right for Manchester United. Giggs and Saha are in the middle. Quite as muscular as Rooney, and referee having a close look at that. The action carried on into the area, and Rooney clearly feels he was hard done by that the decision wasn't given. Jack's trying to find Rooney. Fletcher. A little prod away by Kirai with his weaker foot. Ronaldo. Who is very much in the mood now.
He's got his confidence back now, hasn't he?
side. Broken up by Vidic though. Scholes, Saha. Giggs. Saha one-on-one with Mellberg. Ronaldo came sprinting in. Too much support on the left. Evra was a bit back on his heels. But they are 2-0 up. No need for Manchester United to take any extra risks here. Scholes. On by Rooney cleverly. Beautifully worked between Neville and Rooney, and it's led to Cristiano Ronaldo, but it's not going to count. The flag goes up to stop Manchester United's celebrations.
What a wonderful bit of football this from United. 1-2, Neville to Rooney. Well, it was very, very tight, wasn't it? I think the assistant referee just got it right. Ronaldo, he had no need to come in as quickly as he did. Just a little bit too anxious to get on the end of that ball from Rooney, but it was a great ball to the far post, so inviting for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Free kick for handball. The new Aston Villa owner, Randy Lerner, is a learner about what is required. He's talking about letting Martin O'Neill have a cash fund for the January transfer window. And the gap in class between what Villa now have and what Manchester United have has been apparent in the second half. Certainly wasn't apparent in the first half. And O'Neill's men played with real passion and no little ability. It's all very well, Trevor, having the money. It's what you can get in January, who you can get in January. Very few clubs let very good players go midway through a season.
I think it all depends on what the expectancy is from the chairman this season, because Martin's very, very shrewd. He's not just going to go in buy for the sake of it. That's what supporters want. They want to see 3 or 4 new faces. He wants to get players in. They're going to do a job for him, not for the next 3 or 4 months, but for the next 3 or 4 years.
Lahore was already here, of course, when he came, and Martin O'Neill has used him absolutely to the limit. He's played every minute of Villa's season, as has Mellberg, who's trying to come forward here. Petrov goes down the outside. Edwin Lahore to Davis. Cahill. Cahill. Mellberg.
Just lost their shape a little bit, Aston Villa. You can't lose possession here, although they are attacking. That's the problem against Manchester United. They hit you so quickly on the counter-attack.
Hughes. Early to Agbon Lahore, would appreciate that. Plenty in claret and blue in the middle. Agbon Lahore still. And Manchester United still able to stop the supply coming in from that right-hand side. And Scholes astutely to Ronaldo and Rooney. It's 3 against 2 in Manchester United's favour. Gary Neville making a 4th. And this time it is going to count for Cristiano Ronaldo. It is 3-0 Manchester United. He's got 2 of them.
Well, it was only 30 seconds I spoke about. Aston Villa pushing too many players forward in advanced position. That's where United are at their most dangerous. They got so many options here when Giggs plays this ball to Scholes. He releases Ronaldo. He plays it to the oncoming Rooney. You see the two players on the left, he chooses not to play to either of those, because here comes Neville like a train, and he plays it to the far post. Ronaldo on this occasion just holds his run, waits for the ball to come in, not like the previous occasion when he was a little bit too anxious, and once again he has the easy opportunity to just roll the ball into the unguarded net for his second and Manchester United's third.
Well, they booed Cristiano Ronaldo here pretty much from the first whistle, the Villa fans. But the Manchester United supporters know what they've got in their team. And here's Davis, not able to deliver anything like what Scholes could manage, or indeed what Ronaldo has come up with at the other end. Pretty good way in the end, Trevor, to hit back from last week.
It is. I think that the second half performance has been one of excellence. We obviously got some strong words from Alex Ferguson at half-time, because it wasn't a good United performance, but credit to Aston Villa. They were very good in the first half, but the question we were asking was, could they sustain it for 90 minutes? Not easy, and the answer has been no. They've not been able to sustain it. United have upped a gear, and in the end they've run out quite easy winners, and at the moment everyone's asking, can Ronaldo get his hat-trick?
It's going to be a corner, which he might well be in the middle for. Ryan Giggs is heading over to take it. Goals. Fashion something here. Actually touched Paul Scholes' shoulder on the way out. That's a double late change from Alex Ferguson. Mikhail Silvestre, John O'Shea. Paul Scholes deserves a special round of applause for his goal of the highest class. Ryan Giggs also departs. Silvestre and O'Shea charged with just battening down the hatches now and making sure that Manchester United have no alarms in the last couple of minutes. Barry. That's a ping of a pass out to Agbon Lahore. Just that first half scare for Edwin van der Sar when Gardner hit his left-hand post and the ball dropped pretty much on the line for the goalkeeper to smother. Rooney. Trips to London coming up next week to Tottenham and then Charlton, and they're back here to play Chelsea. Up on the Hawk, made it his. I think it was Fletcher who reached the ball as it was pulled back. Rooney. Get Ronaldo away. Gary Neville goals, gone charging ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo. Here's Rooney. Fletcher there to back it up. Outlet is Evra. Very different second half to the first. It was the first goal that pointed the way forward, and it was Manchester United who got it. 3 added minutes.
Well, in that first half, Martin, we spoke about Aston Villa playing with terrific work ethic, passion, determination, aggression. Another word that we didn't use was discipline, and at the moment, that's what's missing. The heart has gone out of it since that first goal, or the second goal I should say probably. It really has knocked the stuffing out of Aston Villa. It's a little bit cruel on them, because they've certainly competed for most of this game very well.
Martin O'Neill. He knows that his job here is very much work in progress. Excellent start to the season, glad to have banked the points then. Ronaldo, Evra, this is Wayne Rooney. Saha trying to set himself for it, almost sport for choice Manchester United then.
I think Wayne Rooney was trying to set himself off on a plate, because as he came on, took the ball inside, he could have hit it with his left foot, but I think he was trying to tee it up to get on his right foot. But once again, the architect was Cristiano Ronaldo. There's been 1 or 2 candidates for man of the match, but for me, he's the main man today, Ronaldo.
Breaks for Saha, and Manchester United are in the counter-punching mood again. It's a great tackle by Cahill, who certainly looked a highly promising defender. Angel. I'm just thinking, Trevor, that this is the day that Ron Saunders came back to football, former Aston Villa manager. And he'll be full of admiration for the Manchester United manager, who's been in charge at the club virtually at the time that Ron Saunders turned his back on football 20 years ago. But it's another Ron that we're going to be talking about after this game. Cristiano Ronaldo has made the difference in the second half. Evra. Manchester United bounce back from Upton Park. Villa Park again, their home from home. Alex Ferguson's 2000th goal scored by Cristiano Ronaldo. Also got the 2002nd as well, with in between an absolute stunner, a real venomous volley from the brilliance that is Paul Scholes. It's 7 without a win this season now for Aston Villa, 22 without a win against their bogey team from Old Trafford. And Manchester United have ensured that they are top of the tree at Christmas. Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 3.